Dominick Reyes appeared on the Pound for Pound podcast today and doubled down on his belief that he did beat Jon Jones when they fought back in 2020. Jon won by unanimous decision, but Reyes still insists that he deserved the win.
What rounds do you believe that you won?
All three, first three, easily. He had nothing for me. He might have landed 2 punches in all 3 of those rounds. He took me down 4 and 5. I got up in 1.5 seconds. Now that counts as nothing. He took me down, wasted energy. I got up and then elbowed him. Doesn't use his reach really well. For being 84-inch reach, bro, how many hand knockouts? How many punches does he land? Not very many. When I look at the numbers and how it actually is versus the glazing, my hands were and are better than his because he doesn't understand his range very well. He wants to be touching you and elbowing you and grappling you. Safer places.
Jon does what he does best. He grows in the fight. And I remember you weren't afraid of him.
Not at all. He's been a champion for a long time. My whole thing was don't let him do anything he wants to do.
Dominick wants another crack at him, dude. Bring him back.
Oh, I did. If you guys don't remember, after that fight, I lobbied for the rematch for the entire year, and he said, drop the belt and went to heavyweight. He ran from me. He said, you're not paying me enough to fight that guy. He's too dangerous.
It's safe to say that Luke Rockhold isn't a fan of bare-knuckle boxing. He fought Mike Perry in BKFC back in 2023, lost by second-round TKO, and ended up with broken teeth. In an interview with MMAfighting.com, Luke said, bare-knuckle boxing is not a fight. I realized I walked in there, I'm not losing my f***ing teeth without using everything I've worked for my whole life. People are f***ing dumb. That's a dumb sport. Metal ropes that you just hit, and then they throw you back into the brawl. There's no way to gauge that distance. It's like who's willing to lose their face first for f***ing nothing. Luke is currently preparing to box Darren Till under Misfits Boxing on August 30th and says he doesn't expect Till to last more than a few rounds. He continued, it couldn't be any worse than bare-knuckle boxing, I'll tell you that. I'm pretty sure I hamstring myself as hard as you can in that fight. This is different. I feel like my boxing has come a long way. No one has really seen it. For me to put the shoes on, get in the ring, get that dance, get that movement, I can do it. I can do it with the best of the game. And I'm hurting people left and right at the gym. I don't expect it to be any different. I go out there and do what I'm doing every day now. I keep training, stay healthy. I don't think Darren should be able to exist more than a few rounds. One thing that I would do that I think is way more bad and not so f***ing stupid, because you can't gauge distance in bare-knuckle boxing. I would do bare-knuckle kickboxing. I would f***ing rematch Mike Perry and put him to sleep. I don't think he wants that. There's no way to gauge distance in bare-knuckle boxing, and they've got metal ropes. You're just bouncing in and out. Bare-knuckle kickboxing, I think there would actually be some technique to it, and I think that would be bad. That would be a real fight. That would be fun. I'd f*** somebody up in that. Reinier De Ridder explains why it would be more difficult to prepare for Dricus du Plessis than Khamzat Chimaev. Dricus is set to defend the middleweight title against Khamzat at UFC 319. In an interview with MMA Junkie, RDR said he would be an easier guy to prepare for. Not that he's an easier fight, but he's more of a typical style. I can bring a couple of Dagestanis and a couple of Chechens who wrestle pretty similar to Khamzat. He boxes pretty cleanly. It's not that special in a sense that it's not as weird as Dricus is. It would be harder to prepare for du Plessis, but if Chimaev wins, he might be the bigger name. If there's one guy who's hard to study, it's him. He doesn't do the same thing twice. He's so awkward, so unpredictable. I need more time studying him. He does a lot of awkward stuff, and I sparred him a couple of years ago at Killcliff, and what really stands out is the way he kicks. Mauricio Ruffy teases that he has a fight announcement coming soon. He posted this video to his socials, and many believe he will be fighting Benoit Saint Denis at UFC Paris. Ruffy is currently unranked in the lightweight division. Saint Denis is sitting at number 13.
Bonjour.
Jared Cannonier is set to fight Michael Venom Page at UFC 319. In a recent interview with Submission Radio, Cannonier didn't seem too thrilled about the fight. He said, "The issue that I have with the fight is he's not really a middleweight. I'm focused on getting back to the title. I understand it's a big fight, it's on a big card, so there's some weight there. That's the rumor you guys have heard, so I'm going to leave it at that. A rumor that y'all heard. It's business as usual. It's all about the next fight, to be honest. It's not that. He may be unranked, but I don't know. I can't really make any reasoning behind the matchmaking. It's still an exciting fight. I've watched MVP for a long time. He's a world-renowned fighter. and we all know who he is. We all love to watch him fight. So it's still a big fight, and with any fight, a dominant finish will get me back on track to where I want to go. Earlier this week, Ben Askren revealed he had to return to the hospital due to concerns of a potential infection following his double lung transplant. Ben posted another update last night and says things are going well.
Hey guys, quick update number 7. Our hands are a little shaky from some of these medicines. I'm still in the hospital, but everything's been good. They kept me here because they thought there was some infection possibility. Every test they've ran so far has came back negative, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't think there's anything major wrong at all. I think I'm waiting for 1 or 2 more tests to come back, and then we'll see where we go from there. I also want to add a Mental Monday in here, because I haven't done one in a while, although you may say a few of my last posts had to do with the psychology of killing asset life. So one of the things we're passionate about at Askren Wrestling Academy is we'll take anybody. I don't care if you've done wrestled, I don't care if you suck at wrestling. If you want to be in the room and you want to get better, we'd love to have you. It's kind of that simple. I cringe when I see some of these 7, 8, 9-year-old baseball teams make cuts. I think it's a lot of sports at that age, honestly. But if you want to have a good team long term, you want to keep as many kids as possible involved, because you don't know who's going to develop. Right? I've had kids who never qualified for youth state that have placed at state, went D1, right? Many kids. So one of our goals at AWA that makes us really effective is keep around as many kids as possible. Okay? But the more kids you keep around, the more possibilities you have at turning something out. And honestly, lots of times when kids are really good at 7, 8, 9 years old, either the parent has already put a bunch of time into them, or some kids just physically mature way earlier. I hate cutting at young ages. I don't think you should do it. I think it's really stupid. Yeah, that's all I got for you. All right, I'll try to update you guys when I get out of here. Hopefully, today is Wednesday, July 30th. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow or the next day. But I'm gonna go Stockdale Paradox and not get too hung up on it.
Earlier this week, Nate Diaz called out Max Holloway. For those who are unaware, Nate has been saying he wants to return to the UFC. He posted a photo of Max carrying the BMF belt. He wrote, "This guy cool, but he keeps wearing my belt," with an angry face emoji. John McCarthy recently gave his take on how a potential fight between Nate and Max would play out. He said, "I'm being honest. I don't think it's a great fight. It's not a great fight. It would be a one-sided fight. Max is way faster than Nate. He moves a lot. Nate doesn't do well with people that move well. Even Josh Thompson. You have movement that caused him problems throughout the fight, and that's when he was young, and he wasn't slower. I'm being honest. I look at that and it's a matter of Nate Diaz. How long can he last without Max cutting him up like he's got razors in his hands and it being stopped on cuts?" Michael Bisping offered some advice to Dricus Du Plessis ahead of his upcoming middleweight title defense against Khamzat Chimaev at UFC 319. According to Bisping, instead of trying to avoid Khamzat's wrestling, Dricus should meet it head on. On his YouTube channel, Bisping said, "Dricus Du Plessis, you cannot doubt this guy. He said he wants to fight Khamzat on the ground. He said everyone else tries to avoid the ground with him. He said, I want to fight the best version of him. I want to test my skills against his on the ground. He's not intimidated." There are videos of Dricus Du Plessis online, taking on an entire Gracie Baja black belt team and submitting them all one by one. He's big, he's strong, he can wrestle, he's got great judo, he's got knockout power, he's had a nose job, so he's got a great gas tank now as well. They hate each other. They absolutely hate each other. Chimaev's going to get you down. Look what he did to Robert Whittaker. Look at what he did to Kamaru Usman. Usman, with that fight, you might go, oh yeah, Usman had his best days behind him. Then look what he did to Joaquin Buckley. He still got it. That's how good Khamzat Chimaev is at wrestling. So if you try to just do everything you can to avoid him and get away and run, you're just running away the entire time. He's going to get you. Nah, screw that. Meet him head on. Fight him at his own game. Reinier De Ridder thinks Paulo Costa is the one behind the fake X profile pretending to be him. This post was making the rounds recently, with over 1 million views. It's the classic photo of Paulo and Israel Adesanya. It reads, "You got your first win in 3 years. I got my first decision in 4 years. And you talk. Actions speak louder than words. So meet me in November, MSG. Don't sit out for another year." So that account is obviously not Reinier De Ridder. And in an interview with Inside Fighting, he confirms he doesn't actually want to fight Paulo. He said, "No, I think it was Paulo Costa himself. I think he had both accounts going on, I think." Renato Moicano compares Reinier De Ridder's fighting style to Dricus du Plessis. He thinks RDR clearly beat Robert Whittaker last weekend at UFC Abu Dhabi. Moicano is also extremely impressed with RDR's knees.
I want to hear Moicano thoughts on that guy's style because he's another DDP, right? Another crazy style.
I think he's like DDP cousin or something like that because they the same. I know one is from South Africa, right?
Yeah.
But I think his ancestors or something was from Netherlands. They look the same.
The same.
But to me, it was not a hard fight to judge. I think was easy to score, right?
De Ridder, right?
What do you think? Why De Ridder? So why are you asking if he deserved to win? I think it was a easy fight to score.
It was still it was a split decision though.
But yeah,
I mean, clear. 3-2 clear.
I thought it was very clear 3-2. De Ridder.
But I agree with that because the 2 rounds that Robbie won.
Yeah.
Bro, he dominated.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough to be a 10-8. So I think it was 2 rounds 10-9 to Rob and 3 rounds 10-9 to De Ridder, and De Ridder won. And I trained with this guy, and I told Moicano, bro, the guy has very good jiu-jitsu, very tricky with the clinch, with the takedowns, and he has a chin, you know, not the best striking, not like a beautiful Adesanya Topuria striking movement.
Yeah.
But the guy,
let's be honest. He just have the knee. The knee is very good.
Good jabs. The knees on stand up. Yes.
The timing on the knee is perfect, bro.
Very good,
and then the timing on the knee is because he was having trouble on the first round. Do you remember that? Like,
yes.
Whittaker very hard to take it down.
Yes.
But then I don't know if it was in the first or the second round. He timing the knee on the clinch and on the when Whittaker was in the cage, and then he fell and then he went to the back and put him on the. So the timing on the knee is very impressive. But other than that, the guy's just.
Yeah, but he's a high-level grappler. He can take a lot of punishment, and whenever he throw the knee, so.
Dan Hooker thinks the UFC may actually book Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett next. In an interview with Sky Sports, Dan said the funny thing is they might actually do Paddy versus Ilia, which is like an absolute take. He fights Chandler, then gets a title shot. Absolute take. But who cares? At the end of the day, he's not going to hold the belt for very long. Also, if you're in Ilia's shoes, logically he should be fighting Arman, but he's not going to, because Arman's a really tough fighter. If I'm sitting there with the title and I'm getting pay-per-view points, and I have to fight Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, or Paddy Pimblett, I would take the hardest guy. But if you're smart, you take Paddy Pimblett. You're going to get the most money because there's a lot of animosity. You're going to get the most money and the worst fighter. So it's like a win-win situation for Ilia Topuria. Fans were trolling Rampage Jackson for putting ketchup on his steak during one of his recent live streams, and John Jones caught a stray.
Hit $5. I bet John Jones doesn't put ketchup on his steak.
I bet John Jones puts in his nose, though.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Ahara12. It says, "Good to see Stipe living a good life after the UFC did him dirty. Giving people like Anthony Smith a send-off and not him is insane." The second one's from Peter Griffin. It's in reference to Ilia Topuria saying that he would rather vacate the lightweight title than defend it against Arman Tsarukyan. It says, "A wise man once said, defend or vacate." And the final one's from Demon Daddy 413. It says, "Ilia trying to get that Paddy fight is like O'Malley trying to rack up a title defense against Cheeto." Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.